Greetings from Washington, D.C. This is Peter Thomas, General Counsel of the NAAOP. As the holidays begin to arrive, Congress is hard at work trying to resolve a number of major issues before returning to home. The first is the spending bill. The federal government is currently operating under a continuing resolution, and by December 12th needs to be funded. The Congress is working hard to arrive at an omnibus spending package, which is something that's become an annual rite of passage, it seems, and will likely either pass a major bill within the next week, or we'll have to pass another short-term continuing resolution to fund the federal government so that it doesn't shut down. The impact of this on orthotics and prosthetics is not a direct impact, although there are a number of programs that O&P benefits from within the federal government that will need to be funded in fiscal year 2016. Another major issue that Congress is working on involves a tax extenders package. It's grown to be a many hundreds of billion-dollar bill over 10 years. And it offers the opportunity for Medicare changes to be affixed to a package such as that. We're watching very closely to make sure that any O&P provisions would not be harmful, and in fact are trying to advance as many orthotic and prosthetic provisions that impact the Medicare program that would be of a beneficial nature. We're working in conjunction with the O&P Alliance organizations and AOPA and AOPA's consultants to try to advance as many of the prosthetic and orthotic legislative priorities of the field as possible. Finally, there is some movement on legislation designed to improve and streamline the audit and appeals process under Medicare. And we've been hard at work reviewing those legislative changes and making substantive comment to a number of the provisions that are under debate amongst staff at this point. But we are hopeful that there'll be some positive developments with respect to orthotic and prosthetic coverage and documentation and other issues involved in appeals and audits. Unfortunately, the announcement came down that the productivity adjustment combined with the Consumer Price Index update resulted in a 0.4% reduction in the annual inflation update for the orthotic and prosthetic Medicare fee schedule. And so Medicare will be paying 0.4% less than it paid for O&P care under the fee schedule than it did in 2015, starting on January 1. That's unfortunate, but that is a statutory formula that was put into law back in 2010. Normal years, it kicks off an update, an actual positive increase, because of a number of factors that have kept the pace of inflation in check. That update actually is a negative update this year. Finally, I want to give a bit of an update on the local coverage determination debacle that has occurred over the last several months. Last month we reported that there had been significant progress, that CMS had decided not to finalize the draft LCD and instead to compile or develop a interagency committee to study the issue. We have now talked directly with the Chief Medical Officer at CMS. We have learned additional detail of what CMS plans to do. This has been a combined effort with all the alliance organizations and NAAOP and AOPA actually getting on the phone with the Chief Medical Officer and talking with him. Ultimately, we think they have agreed that they would re-look at taking down the LCD from the website, the CMS website. There's no decision on that yet, but we are hopeful that they will eventually do so while they consider this LCD. And they are pretty clear that they're going to have to keep the advisory board to federal employees only as a result of a federal law called the Federal Advisory Committee Act. They believe that their hands are tied and they can't include private stakeholders in that committee, but assure us that they plan on having private stakeholders, individual members of the public, have robust input into the process throughout the course of 2016. We're hopeful that they move forward on examining this area and that they ultimately come out with a positive resolution on the draft LCD. Thanks so much and have a wonderful holiday season.